Chapter 303, Volcanic Trip Part 44. Part 44, United States Pacific Coast. Vanzilla 2.0 is in jet mode and we are flying over the United States Pacific coastline. Nicole, here we are guys. The final stop on our global trip, the Pacific coastline of the United States of America. Lincoln, it's beautiful. I can't believe that we were gone for so long. Lainey, we were gone for 132 days and it was all an amazing trip. Lana, it sure was Lane's. We've learned so much around the world and it was so cool. Starfire, it sure was. Learning all about the Earth was an adventure worth remembering. Raven, I agree Star. Tara, this was all an amazing trip. Beast Boy, it sure was. Volcana, I agree. Linka, so what's our first stop in the Pacific coast? Nicole, we're going to California and work our way up to Oregon and then to Washington State. Lily, this is gonna be fun. Naruto, it sure is. California. We were in San Diego, California. Me, San Diego, California. The 8th largest city in the country and the 2nd largest city in the state of California. There's so much to do here in San Diego. The San Diego Zoo, Legoland, and more. Aline, that's right. Lana, I've always wanted to go to the San Diego Zoo and Legoland. Lola, Legoland is supposed to be amazing. Vince, well you're all gonna love California. It's all an amazing place. Cody, and it has some of the most amazing food in the world. I've been here before and it's all great food. Ronnie Ann, that's amazing Cody. Zoe, it sure is. I know some people here in California. But they're all in the prison system. Hercules, I remember Zoe. What did they do again? Zoe, murder. I'll take you guys to them. Me, we can't wait. We were now at one of the most amazing spots in all of California, the San Andreas Fault. Nicole, the San Andreas Fault. One of the most seismically active areas in the country. Me, it's amazing. Vince, it sure is. Kyan, I've seen this in pictures and on those movies. That movie San Andreas from 2015 was intense. Natalie, I'll never forget that movie. That was intense. That earthquake that rattled all of California was intense. Nicole, it sure was. I'll never forget that. But an earthquake's most deadliest weapon is not fire but water. That tsunami in that movie was over 700 feet high and it was unbelievable. Lincoln, it sure was. Lola, that was an intense movie though and Dwayne Johnson did a fantastic job in that movie. Lily, he sure did. Lori, that was literally the most amazing performance he did. Lenny, totes. Later we were over at Legoland. Me, Legoland, San Diego, California. This is one of my favorite parks here in California. We were having a lot of fun and more. We did all sorts of fun activities and fun stuff. Next we went to the San Diego Zoo and it was an amazing and fun time for all of us. We saw lots of amazing animals and did all kinds of fun stuff there. Foo, the San Diego Zoo is an amazing zoo. Zoe, it sure is. Kyan, my favorite animals are the tropical animals. Ben, those animals are amazing. Gwen, they sure were. Jessie K, I loved the gorillas and monkeys. Brittany, I liked the bats and the creatures of the darkness. Lucy, same here. Haiku, me too. Shannon, they were amazing and I liked the bears. Me, they were fun. Next we were at SeaWorld. Lori, Carol, Lincoln, Lily, me and Barry went swimming with the dolphins and did all kinds of fun things. It was all very fun. Later we went to Los Angeles, California. Me, Los Angeles, California. The 2nd most populated city in the United States and the most populated city in all of California. Lisa, this is an amazing city. Lincoln, I heard that it's also home to some of the most amazing game shows known around the world. Me, you heard right, Lincoln. My favorite game shows are done here. Rita, mine too, JD. We went to lots of great attractions in Los Angeles and my favorite stop is the La Brea Tar Pits. Naruto, wow. So these are the La Brea Tar Pits. Me, that's right, bro. These are the most perfectly preserved tar pits in the country. Nicole, I love these tar pits. Jesse K, these tar pits have been here for a long time and were discovered by Spanish explorers in 1769. Lana dipped her hand in the tar lake and it was really sticky and she pulled it out and it was covered in slimy tar. Lana, this is cool. Me, tar pits have been notoriously dangerous for all animals during the prehistoric times. They have mired animals of all kinds in them for millions of years. Very, that's weird and horrible. Lola, that is strange but gross. Lisa, but it's all a fascinating and amazing process. Len, it's all amazing. Sakura, it sure is. Luan, this is a sticky situation of a tar pit of doom. Laughs to Rimshot, get it? Most of us laugh while everyone else sighed. Me, laughs, that was a good one, Luan. Very, laughs, that was funny. Eddie, laughs, that was a good one. Cody, it sure was. Vince, that was funny. Raven, laughs, I just got it. Next we went to the most infamous prison in all of California, the Central California Women's Facility in Chowchilla, California. Zoe, here we are, guys. This is the Central California Women's Facility, one of California's most notorious prisons for women. Brittany, I know this prison all too well. In these prison walls live only the damned and they are some of the most dangerous women inmates in the country. Zoe, that's right, Brittany. We went into the prison and it was like stepping through the gates into the netherworld. Lana and Lola, hugging and shaking in fear, I'm scared. Lainey, me too, guys. But as long as we're together we'll be fine. Lynn, I say we fight all these butt faces and give this whole prison an enormous number of Dutch ovens. Me, that would be fun and hilarious but that wouldn't be pleasant. Lynn Sr., that's right. In the visiting yard we were talking to some of the inmates and some of them weren't as dangerous as we thought. But there was one that I was about to fight and it was our old enemy Giselle Razor. Me, Giselle Razor. Giselle, JD. Nudsim. Me, prison life hasn't been too kind for you, hasn't it? Giselle, no it hasn't. Because of you I lost everything. Very, who is that girl, JD? Me, she is Giselle Razor. She was from Michigan and she is the ultimate bad girl. She hates everything with a merciless vengeance and wants nothing more than to see the whole world burn. She has done all sorts of unspeakable crimes all over Michigan. She did murder, assault and battery, arson, theft, and more. She has a rap sheet that's 10 miles long and because of that she is known as the Terror of Michigan. She was the first ever criminal I busted when I moved to Michigan and her case was so high profile that they couldn't let her sit with her lawyer during the trial. They had to put her in a tempered glass case and chain her up in a straitjacket because she is so incredibly dangerous. She was very combative in court. She spit at the people and she had to be restrained several times for violent outbursts and she even threatened some of the families attending the trial. She was found guilty of all her crimes and sentenced to multiple life sentences without parole here in this prison. Giselle, that's right. Cool scar by the way, JD. Me, nice of you to notice. I got it recently when we were in Sumatra. Giselle, I lost everything because of you, JD. Me, you got what was coming to you, Giselle. People like you need to be locked up in prison forever and never see the light of day again. Giselle, I will now have my revenge on you, JD. Lori, hey. Giselle, Lori. How nice to see you again. Lori, I will literally never forgive you for everything you've done, Giselle. I am now going to literally grind you into dust and blow you into the wind. Lori spread her wings and had wind spiraling around her fists. Giselle, gasp. Lori? What happened to you? Lori, a good gift and blessing. Me, go get her Lori. Aline, show no mercy. Vince, yet. Lori, with pleasure. Giselle, you all will die. Lori, you first. Lori punched Giselle in the face and fired a blast of wind, hurling her into the wall, and she crashed into it. Crash. Giselle got up and she was enraged. Giselle, enraged, screaming, she charged towards Lori, and Lori kicked her in the face and punched her in the stomach and punched her in the nose. Pow. Blam. Crack. Lori kicked her in the mouth and knocked out some of her teeth. Smash. Giselle had blood dripping from her nose and mouth, and she was enraged beyond all forms of human comprehension. Giselle, enraged growl, I hate you. Lori's aura flared up and she punched Giselle in the stomach and kicked her in the back and punched her in the back of the head. Lori backed away and she was not even in the least bit exhausted. Lori, you've literally had this coming for a long time, Giselle. Giselle, I will kill you and drink your blood. Giselle pulled out a knife and charged at Lori, and she slashed Lori's face and cut her, but it missed her eye, and Lori kicked the knife out of her hand and Lori headbutt her and knocked her out. Lori, that was for me. The prisoners all cheered wildly for Lori. Me, I think she deserves to be in a much more tougher prison instead of here in California. I snapped my fingers and beamed her to the moon triple super maximum security prison. She was in a prison cell surrounded by hot lava, and if she ever escapes she will suffocate in the endless vacuum of space. Very, you were awesome, Lori. Let me look at that cut. Very did so. Very, that's a nasty wound. Luckily it missed your eye. Lori, it sure did. I'm glad that we'll never see Giselle Razor again. Me too, Lori. Lainey, that girl had so many problems it was unbelievable. Me, yet. She makes even Charles Manson look like a saint compared to her. The prisoners all agreed with me and Lainey. Later we were in San Francisco. Me, San Francisco, California. Just as beautiful as I remember it. Very, it's a beautiful city. Me, yet. We went to all sorts of great places in San Francisco. We went to Alcatraz Prison, Fisherman's Wharf, the Golden Gate Bridge, and more. Oregon. We were now in Oregon. Lincoln, so this is Oregon. It's so beautiful. Lenny, totes. I love the forests. Shannon, me too, Lenny. The trees are beautiful. Me, Oregon has some of the most awesome scenery and views of the ocean in the country. We arrived in Cannon Beach, Oregon. Me, welcome to Cannon Beach, everyone. This is my mom's favorite city in Oregon. Lainey, it's beautiful. The view of the ocean is awesome. Lori, it literally is. I love the view. What are those big rocks there? Me, that's Haystack Rock. It's a big landmark here in Cannon Beach. Lynn, it's so cool. Lucy, it sure is. We saw all kinds of magnificent landmarks in Oregon, and we went to Portland and Salem and more. As we were having lunch we were eating lots of good food, and the Oregon Marionberry pie was awesome. As we walked back to the car we saw a newspaper that had a disturbing front page cover. Me, hey, what's this? Town of Springfield at war. The kids of Springfield have launched an all-out war against the dysfunctional town to destroy it and wipe it off the map forever. We got to see this. We flew over to the town of Springfield, Oregon, and we saw the whole town completely engulfed in flames and explosions were breaking out. Bodies littered the ground and everything was completely destroyed. The only things that were still standing were the nuclear power plant and a multi-million-dollar mansion. Me, my goodness. Lori, what happened here? Lola, this whole town is gone. Lincoln, what caused all of this to happen? Me, My guess is that the kids of Springfield have finally had enough of the adults being stupid idiots and decided to launch an all-out war against the town and remove it from the world forever so they can be free. Linka, this is horrible. Lisa, from the way things are here in Springfield, that is the logical assumption. Suddenly a burst of light and ghosts came and the Grim Reaper himself appeared. Me, gasp. The Grim Reaper. Grim, Jamaican accent, that's right JD. Me, you're not here to reap our souls, are you? Grim, no. I have a job for you all. Me, what is thy bidding Grim? Grim, I need your help in reaping this man. Holds up a photo of said man, Charles Montgomery Burns. Me, growls ferociously, I hate that man. Calms down, sorry. But we'll do it. Grim, thank you. Me, I have a plan. I reveal my plan and we put Operation Death to Burns in effect. Me, alright, here's what we do. Scene transits to Lola on her heart-shaped laptop. Me, narrating. First, Lola is gonna dig up all the dirt on Mr. Burns and transfer all of his assets to our accounts. Mr. Burns, Smithers. Why is all my money gone? Smithers, I don't know, sir. Looks like someone hacked into your account and stole all your money. Me, narrating. Second, I will beam the mansion over to Royal York and leave Mr. Burns and Mr. Smithers on the ground of where it was. I did said thing and Mr. Burns and Smithers were on the ground wondering where the mansion went to. Me, lastly I will walk up to him and deliver the final blow. I walk up to Mr. Burns and he was infuriated. Me, Mr. Burns. Mr. Burns saw me. Mr. Burns, who are you? Smithers, sir, that's JD. Knudsen, the richest kid in the world, and he is also the most famous kid on the planet. Mr. Burns was enraged. Mr. Burns, so you are behind all this. You took everything from me. Me, and I show no remorse in doing so. Mr. Burns, why you? He ran at me and punched me in the face. But when he punched me, the impact of the punch didn't make me flinch, but it caused all of Mr. Burns' bones in his hands to break and protrude from his hands. Mr. Burns was screaming in pain. Me, giggles, that tickled. Now to make sure you never get another cent from anyone ever again. The Grim Reaper appeared. Grim, Charles Montgomery Burns. Your fate is decided. Everlasting damnation for your sins. Mr. Burns, no. I won't go to the netherworld. Me, you have no choice. Cocks a gun. Bang. Bang. I fired 2 bullets into Mr. Burns' legs and blew them both off. Me, he's all yours, Grim. Grim, thank you, JD. Me, you're welcome. To Mr. Burns, you've cheated death for the last time, Burns. Burn in eternal hell. Grim then slashed off Mr. Burns' head with his scythe and killed him instantly. Mr. Burns went to the darkness of the netherworld for all eternity. His punishment was suffering for his greed in the 4th circle of the inferno. Me, never again, Burns. Grim, JD, thank you for helping me reap Burns. Me, it was our pleasure, Grim. Mr. Smithers was enraged and he was gonna get revenge for killing Mr. Burns. He pulled out a gun and fired at me. But I used the force and stopped the bullet in midair. I redirected it back at him and it went into his leg. Mr. Smithers was in a lot of pain and I sent him to prison for attempted murder. Me, as for Mr. Burns, I fired a blast of fire and burned his body. Grim laughed malevolently. Me, I'm glad Mr. Burns is gone for good, Grim. Grim, me too, JD. I'll see you again sometime soon. Grim then vanished. Me, now to take care of Springfield forever. Later we went to the nuclear power plant and placed bombs in the reactor and set the timer for 2 hours. We gathered all the children after the war was won and Ms. Ruth Powers was with them. We then contained all of Springfield in a giant force field dome. Bart, whoa. That was awesome. Me, thanks Bart. 30 seconds left until detonation. Naruto, How big will the explosion be? Me, 250 megatons of TNT, but the force field will contain the explosion and only destroy all of Springfield. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Crab. A blinding white flash of light as bright as 10,000 suns illuminated the area, and a huge explosion shook the area and completely obliterated all of Springfield and vaporized everything. Me, that was intense. Lisa, that's the end of Springfield. Yep. Good riddance. Keith, thanks for helping us destroy all of Springfield. JD. Me, my pleasure, Keith. That town gave everyone everywhere a really bad name. By the way, Keith, are you the leader of the army that wiped out Springfield? Keith, I sure am. Me and my siblings here are part of a group called the Dysfunctional Town Liberation Army. We are a special extremist group that specialize in the destruction of towns that are extremely bad and completely dysfunctional. We help out the children of that town get away from it, and then we launch a massive holy war on that town and make it pay for everything it's done. Me, wow. Lori, so you guys are considered the antipode of terrorism. Keith, that's a good way to put it, Lori. Yes. Olivia, our job is so big that it's not for the faint of heart. Me, wow. Later, Keith, his siblings, and the former kids of Springfield were offered a home in Royal York and they accepted. Keith gave me a special watch that can call them just in case. Washington. Lastly, we were in Washington State. We were in Seattle. We saw all kinds of magnificent sights here. We went to the Pike Place Fish Market, Mount Rainier, the Space Needle, lots of great buildings and more. We had lots of great food and it was all delicious. This was our last stop on our global vacation and it was an amazing trip. We then returned home. Continues in part 45.